Your phone screen lights up. After weeks, maybe even months of total silence, a single word from your avoidant ex suddenly appears. Hey. Instantly, your pulse jumps and your thoughts start spiraling. What does this mean? Do they miss me? Did they finally change? What am I even supposed to say? Your thumb freezes over the keyboard while 1,000 possible replies fight to be typed. Hope, anxiety, curiosity, confusion. It's an emotional cocktail, and it's designed to pull you right back into the same cycle you once promised yourself you were done with. Before you type even one letter, stop. Take a slow breath. Most of the time, that message isn't a sincere invitation to rebuild anything. It's a test of your self-respect. It's often a subconscious check to see if you're still a source of comfort they can access whenever it suits them without ever doing the hard internal work of changing. This isn't about romance. It's about access. In this video, you're going to learn self-respecting ways to respond that don't just shut the door, but quietly communicate the weight of what they walked away from. This isn't about games. It's about reclaiming your power, protecting your peace, and closing a dynamic that was never going to truly satisfy you. It's about rejecting them in the right way. To know how to respond, you first need to understand why it's happening at all. An avoidant ex reaching out rarely happens randomly. Most of the time, it follows a predictable psychological loop rooted in attachment style. This comes from a framework called attachment theory, and your ex likely fits the pattern of someone with avoidant attachment. That style usually shows up with a few core features: a strong, sometimes compulsive need for independence, deep discomfort with emotional closeness, and a habit of minimizing relationships to protect themselves. Think of their emotional system like a broken smoke alarm. For most people, intimacy feels warm and grounding. But for an avoidant, as closeness increases, an internal siren starts screaming, "Danger, I'm losing myself, I'm being trapped." That's why they pull back. Not always because love disappeared, but because their nervous system interprets deeper connection as a threat. The trigger could be anything: a great weekend together, talking about the future, feeling needed. Even positive closeness can feel like pressure. That pressure activates what therapists call deactivating strategies. They numb feelings, create distance, and downplay your importance to regain a sense of safety. So they leave, they create space, and in that space, at first, they feel relief. The alarm shuts off. Their body finally feels calm again. But after time passes, something shifts. After weeks or months, the silence they wanted starts to feel different. Those deactivating strategies fade once they feel fully in control and alone. The threat of intimacy is gone. Now their mind can remember you without fear attached. They replay your laugh, the connection, the comfort, without the anxiety of commitment. Nostalgia becomes safe. At the same time, loneliness creeps in. No matter how independent someone claims to be, humans are wired for connection. Distance eventually turns into isolation and a quiet dissatisfaction with their own patterns. Then comes the ego element. For some, especially those with narcissistic traits, reaching out is about validation. It's checking whether you're still available, still attached, still an option. It's a way to refill their sense of worth. They don't ask because they're ready to love differently. They ask because they want to know if access still exists. So when that "hey" shows up, it's rarely because they had a life-changing realization and are prepared to offer secure, consistent love. More often, their internal cycle of fear and loneliness has completed another loop. They had enough space to stop feeling scared, and now they feel just lonely enough to reach for the comfort they once abandoned. They miss how they felt with you, not the responsibility of partnership itself. Your instinct might be to reply emotionally. Maybe you want to ask, "Why are you texting me now?" or unload all the hurt they caused. Or, on the other side, answer sweetly with, "Hey, how have you been?" That's the trap. Chasing with questions, reacting with emotion, or showing you've been waiting validates their internal story. To them, it confirms closeness equals pressure, drama, and loss of control. Whether angry or needy, emotional responses are exactly what their nervous system expects. It reinforces why they left. In that moment, you become the role they assigned you, the anxious pursuer whose needs feel heavy. It gives them permission to retreat again. So what actually creates regret for an avoidant person? It's not your tears, not your anger, not your explanations. Their regret sounds less like, "I hurt them," and more like, "I miscalculated." It's the realization that they lost something valuable that didn't actually threaten their freedom. It's seeing you stable, confident, and moving forward without them. It's discovering you're no longer available on demand and that the power has shifted. One thing that triggers regret is calm, boundaried rejection. When you're unavailable without lecturing, begging, or exploding, your tone is steady, respectful, and final. It communicates self-respect, not resentment. Another trigger is visible, secure self-worth. Through life, friends, or social media, they notice your life didn't collapse. You're busy, you're growing. You're not posting breakup quotes to get attention. You're genuinely living. That quietly shatters their belief that you depended on them to function. The strongest trigger is loss of access. Avoidants often assume you'll always be a backup option. When they reach out and meet a polite but firm boundary, the power flips. They walked away, but now you control the door and you're choosing not to open it. That's powerful. It's not manipulation. It's what happens when you choose stability over intermittent affection. Before you decide what to write, pause. That message likely sent adrenaline through your body. Responding in that state is like shopping while hungry. You grab things you regret later. So before touching the screen, do a small ritual. Ask yourself 3 non-negotiable questions. First, what's my hidden motivation? Be honest. Are you secretly hoping rejection makes them chase? Are you imagining that acting distant will suddenly make them commit? If your motive is to push buttons so they come back, you're still in their game. A real self-respecting rejection only works if you're truly okay walking away forever. You can't be attached to their reaction. This isn't about controlling them. It's about choosing yourself. Second, what's my non-negotiable goal? Look at the history, not the fantasy. There are usually 2 healthy paths. One is permanent closure. You accept the dynamic wasn't healthy and your peace matters more than reconnection. Your goal is to close the door with respect and no room for debate. The other is conditional reconnection with real change. This path is harder. It only works if you're emotionally strong. Here, you're not rejecting the person forever, but you are rejecting the old pattern completely. The burden of proof is on them. They must show consistent, long-term change, and you must be ready to leave the moment old behavior returns. Choose the path that protects your self-respect, not your attachment. Third, am I emotionally regulated right now? Your heart may still be racing. Your mind may be full of what-ifs. If you respond while activated, you'll speak from fear instead of clarity. Regulation means you can read their message without feeling pulled. It means your body is calm enough that your reply reflects who you are now, not who you were when you were hurt. If you're not calm, you wait. Power grows in silence, not urgency. An avoidant X often expects emotion. They expect access. They expect you to respond fast. When you pause, reflect, and respond from grounded self-worth, the dynamic changes. You're no longer reacting. You're choosing. And choice is where your real power lives. Do not reply from this state. Put the phone down. Step away from it. Splash cold water on your face. Call a friend who strengthens you instead of feeding your old habits. Go for a walk or a run. Do whatever you need to do to settle your nervous system. You can answer later, not in 5 minutes, and maybe not even today. You respond only when you feel calm, grounded, and detached from the emotional charge of their message. A dysregulated reply always keeps the cycle alive. A regulated one is what actually breaks it. Only after you've truthfully answered those 3 questions are you ready to touch your phone again. Before getting into the exact word-for-word scripts for both paths, if this is connecting with you, take a moment to subscribe. The purpose here is to give you clarity and practical tools to create healthier relationships, starting with the one you have with yourself. Your support makes it possible to keep sharing content like this. Now let's shift from the reason behind it to the way you handle it. These are the scripts. They're meant to be short, clear, and emotionally contained. They focus on your boundaries instead of attacking their behavior, which keeps them from becoming defensive and pulling you back into the same old pattern. For permanent closure, this is the clean break approach. It's respectful, decisive, and leaves no space for negotiation. It represents calm authority. Here are a few versions. Choose what feels natural to your voice. Option 1, polite and straightforward. I appreciate you reaching out. I've moved forward and I'm not open to revisiting our connection. I wish you well. Option 2, steady and clear. Thanks for texting. After reflecting on our dynamic, I realized it wasn't healthy for me and I'm not interested in reconnecting. I hope you find what you're looking for. Option 3, minimal. That chapter of my life is closed. I wish you the best. Notice what these messages do not do. They don't ask questions. They don't accuse. They don't explain in paragraphs, which would only invite debate. They're statements, not arguments. They communicate that a choice has already been made. You're no longer someone waiting to be convinced. You're someone with defined limits. This quietly challenges their expectation that you're still available in the background. That loss of access is what often plants the earliest seeds of real regret. After sending it, don't get pulled into another exchange. If they push back or ask why, you have 2 healthy options. One is silence. Your message already said everything. The other is one final line. I've shared my decision and it's final. After that, you may need to mute or block them, so your boundary is real, not symbolic. Your behavior must support your words. The second path is conditional reconnection. This one requires emotional maturity and discipline. You're not saying no forever. You're saying no to the old pattern. And now the responsibility shifts to them to prove something is different. Option 1, naming the change required. I'm open to a conversation, but I'm not willing to repeat our old pattern of inconsistent communication. For me to consider reconnecting, I would need to see real and consistent change. If that's not something you're ready for, I understand, and it's better we leave things as they are. Option 2, shifting the burden of proof. Hey, I'm not interested in falling back into a casual, unclear dynamic. If you've done serious work on yourself and are ready to approach a connection with consistency and intention, I'm open to seeing that. But words alone don't work for me anymore. The effort would need to show itself over time. These responses reject the behavior, not necessarily the person. They calmly identify the problem and place responsibility back where it belongs. They act like a filter. An avoidant who is only reaching out for comfort, validation, or boredom relief will usually disappear when things sound structured and effort-based. It feels like responsibility, and that pushes them away. If they fade, you get your answer. In the rare case that someone has genuinely worked on themselves, this creates a challenging but healthy path forward. It communicates, I respect myself too much to accept the bare minimum, but I can recognize consistent action. After sending this, you live your life. You don't wait. You don't pause your growth. Their behavior over the next weeks and months is the only information that matters. Are they consistent? Do they communicate without disappearing? Do they take accountability for old patterns? Are they seeking support like therapy? If not, you already have clarity and you can move toward permanent closure with confidence. There's also the self-protection response. Sometimes you're too emotionally activated to engage at all, even after trying to calm down. You might feel anxious, raw, or angry. In that situation, the strongest thing you can do is protect your peace. The script is simple. I saw your message. I'm not in a place to engage with this right now. This is emotional boundary mastery. You're not ignoring them, which can leave you unsettled. You're acknowledging the text while refusing to participate on their schedule. You're choosing your emotional safety first. That kind of calm limit is often more unsettling to an avoidant than anger or longing. As you move forward, stay alert for the traps that instantly give your power away again. Don't start an investigation. Don't ask why they left, what they've been doing, or who they're seeing. That puts you in a low power position and shows you're still centered on their story instead of your own. Don't accept breadcrumbs. If you choose the conditional path and they show a few days of effort and then vanish, don't excuse it. The first return to old behavior is your cue to step back. Allowing it teaches them your boundaries are flexible. Don't announce your rejection publicly. Avoid posting indirect quotes about knowing your worth or people who come back. Real confidence is quiet. Living well without needing validation is the real message. Public displays usually signal that you're still emotionally hooked. Don't send an emotional essay. Resist the urge to write a long breakdown of every way they hurt you. It might feel relieving, but for avoidant types, it often triggers shame, and shame feels like attack, which makes them shut down and retreat further. Your pain is real, but they are not the place to heal it. Journal it. Take it to a therapist. Talk to safe people. Your power lives in what you choose to do and what you refuse to do. Refuse to participate in chaos. That small hey feels massive, and in a way it is, but not for the reason you think. It's not a test of your value or your last shot at happiness. It's more like a graduation moment. It's the final exam proving you're no longer enrolled in someone else's confusing class. Rejecting them with calm, boundaries, and self-respect isn't revenge. It's freedom. It's you deciding your peace isn't available for anyone who can't meet you with consistency. It's you saying your heart isn't a revolving door for someone unsure if they're in or out. The goal isn't to force regret in them. The real goal is to step so fully into your own worth that their regret becomes irrelevant background noise. If regret ever shows up for them, it will simply be a side effect of you choosing yourself. It will come from them realizing they lost someone who learned to give themselves the stability they never could. You're no longer auditioning for a role in someone else's unfinished story. You're focused on writing your own, and in that story, you are the one who shows up. You are the one who protects your peace. You are the one who saves yourself.